Hello, welcome to another Game Master Guide for the TSN Sandbox. In this video I'm going to talk about the hazard menu. Hazard menu is selected here, it's using the designation HAZ, and it opens three drop down menus that gives you different things that you can spawn that players kind of have to avoid, that are hazards to them. In here you have the first menu, which is the terrain menu. It gives you different nebula clusters, so you've got a single nebula cluster, small, medium and large nebula clusters, and you've got the three different types of nebula. So for example, if I wanted to spawn a small blue nebula cluster, where's my indicator? There it is. It will spawn this nebula cluster here. If I wanted to do a larger yellow nebula cluster, it will give me that option as well. There's fairly generic nebula clusters. You can add extra interest to an area if you wanted, or you could have some kind of story behind what you've done. Maybe it's a research station that started leaking some kind of plasma or something like that. You could spawn that cluster around it. In there you've also got asteroids, so you've got a single asteroid, or you've got some asteroid fields that you can spawn. Again, when you click it, it will spawn that field where you've selected, and it'll give you an asteroid cluster. There's black holes, so you can spawn a single black hole, and then you can remove that black hole. You can see I have my black hole spawn there, and then I can remove it as well. The reason why it's set up like that is because you can't actually select and delete a black hole. There's no way of managing to do that. With the nebulas and things, you can delete them in the basic menu, so you can delete terrain, and you can actually delete the nebula cluster itself, as long as you manage to get it close enough. Here we go. So if you click on the center of it, obviously it's not ideal, it takes quite a lot of time to delete that terrain, but you can kind of clear out those nebula clusters if you want. With black holes you can't do that. It won't allow you to delete the terrain. The black holes are actually named objects, and then you can't select them. Going back to this menu then, there's also a radiation point that you can spawn. This radiation point puts a little marker down and a little area, and I don't believe there's any scan text that goes with it, or none that's been added, but it creates a point in space that when players move close to it, their radiation levels start going up, and when their radiation levels reach maximum, they start losing shields or losing energy and things like that. You also see at the bottom, when that radiation point is spawned, you get another indicator that shows the radiation level. So TSN Sabre is currently on radiation level 0. If I move the TSN Sabre closer, so I'm going to move over here and move Sabre, here we go, the radiation level will start to rise, and that indicator shows that by ticking up to 5, then 10, then 15, so it goes up in steps of 5. The proximity to that radiation point changes how quickly that rises, and obviously if you move far enough away from it, it will start to drop again. So you can see already the TSN Sabre has gone up to 5. I'll leave that running for a little bit so you can see it increase in the bottom left corner. That's it for the terrain menu. Now looking at creatures. Creatures are all the actual animals that were added to the game some time ago. So you've got the different creatures that you can spawn there. The piranha swarm and the whale pods, because there's more than one that spawns at once, there's a sequence that it has to go through. So you'll see when I spawn the piranha swarm or a whale pod, it says spawning piranhas or spawning whales, and it spawns 3 or 4 at once. There's a short time between each spawn, which means that the piranhas don't end up on the same spot and crash everything. Same with the whale pod, so spawning whales, so you get 3 or 4 whales clustered together. I think there's 3 there. Okay. You can spawn any of the other ones, so you can spawn the classic space monster, you can spawn the Charybdis, you can spawn the dragon, and the shark and the bug. To delete those, you can obviously go into your basic menu, and because you can select them, you can just delete selected. If we go here, delete selected, there we go. Alright, TSN Sabre you can see now is on 40 radiation. Just to go back to that, I'm going to move it away while I'm in this menu, and we should see that drop. When the radiation point's removed, it'll drop as well. Okay, next up we have mines. So you have the option to spawn minefields. You've got a large minefield, and these are all spawned just in circles. So this is what a large minefield looks like, 3 concentric rings of mines. Medium minefield is just the 2 concentric rings of mines, and then a small minefield is one ring of mines. And then obviously you've got your single mines that you can spawn as well. If it allows me to do it. There we go. Okay, it just takes a minute for it to spawn. Okay. That's it for the hazard menu. As for this radiation point, you can see the radiation has dropped. If I click on here, it removes the radiation point. I can also delete the radiation point. It's better to click there to remove the radiation point, however. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for more Game Master guides for the TSN Sandbox. I'm going to try and get through all of them so that all the menus are done, and then I'll update as necessary. Thanks for listening.